This is Terry Kurtz online reporting on Victor Valley, High Desert, and Mojave River Valley events, activities, entertainment, sports, and history. We begin this online report with new laws taking place in the Golden State. The California legislature concluded its regular session at the end of August, having introduced and discussed more than 2,000 bills. By the September 30th deadline to sign or veto legislation sent his way, Governor Gavin Newsom signed approximately 1,000 of those. Some of those bills included ones that dealt with Sharrows and hate littering, expanding access to opioid treatment, and combating extremism in the military. Beginning next year, the installation of new Sharrows on highways with posted speed limits above 30 miles per hour will be prohibited. A Sharrow is the pavement marking used to inform road users that bicyclists might occupy the travel lane. Starting in 2026, the legislation will also prohibit the active transportation program in the Department of Transportation from including projects that create a Class 3 bikeway or a Sharrow. The active transportation program was created to promote the use of active modes of transportation. A Class 3 bikeway refers to an on-street or off-street path that provides designated space for cyclists. While reported hate crimes in California decreased by 7.1% in 2023 compared to the previous year, reported anti-Jewish bias crimes rose from 189 in 2022 to 289 in 2023, in an increase of 52.9%, and reported anti-Muslim hate crimes increased from 25 in 2022 to 40 in 2023. In response to rising anti-Semitism in the state, all four of the California Legislative Jewish Caucus's priority bills were signed into law, one of which aims to prevent hate littering, or the distribution of hateful flyers, posters, or symbols meant to terrorize vulnerable communities. To combat extremism in the Golden State military, California's National or State Guard will no longer allow extremists to serve in their ranks under newly approved legislation. These individuals who actively participate in, among other things, the use of unlawful force, unlawful violence, or other illegal means to deprive an individual of their rights will be discharged. Once the legislation goes into effect next year, it will also require administrative discharge for extremists already serving in California's National and State Guard. Drug overdose deaths have been a major concern in California, and a new law aims to expand access to opioid treatment. The legislation will require boards that license prescribers, including state medical boards, nursing boards, and pharmacy boards, to give each licensed prescriber informational and educational material regarding the federal 3-day rule. That rule allows non-physician practitioners to provide a 3-day supply of opioid detox medication or maintenance treatment. Boards will also be required to post on their website information about the rule. The State Medical Board must also give information and educational guidelines to each acute care hospital in California. This law intends to reduce overdose deaths and help those suffering from opioid use disorder access critical care more quickly, particularly in underserved areas where access to specialized addiction treatment can be limited. Workers' compensation forms that require a signature, including a notary's signature, are now allowed to be signed electronically. The use of e-signatures was originally a measure to encourage safety during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, it will be used as a commonplace measure and will make workers' compensation appeals proceedings quicker and more efficient. Terry Kurtz here, throwing out an invitation for you to catch up with High Desert Sports Activities, your High Desert Sports Report, showing 3 times every day on Victor Valley TV, 7 and 11 every morning, 4 every afternoon.
What time is it, sports fans? It's time for your High Desert Sports Report!
We hope you'll join us right here on Victor Valley TV. Terry Kurtz Online was brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road.
So!
Bid fast and last, world-class auctioneers. Zvalu Quality Truck Body, family owned and operated since 1954. The Bradco Companies, our area's longest-standing full-service commercial brokerage firm. Iwanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. Previously on Joseph W. Brady's report on Victor Valley College developments.
The way that it works, our most important job at the college is to hire the president and superintendent.
On this timely update,
Victor Valley College, in enrollment terms and otherwise, are setting some records.
Terry, I'll tell you, first thing I want to acknowledge, Dr. Roger Wagner passed away. He passed away in the last couple of weeks. We saw him about 6 weeks ago. Him and Stacy, their son, is economic development director, one of the economic development directors over in Henderson, Nevada. So he was coming out from Missouri as much as he could, as son was trying to see him as much as possible. Stacy and him were supposed to come on over. Dr. Walden and I and Deb, my Deb, were going to have lunch and take a look at the Educational Conference Center. What a lot of people don't realize, it was the initial idea that came from former trustee and former president John Pinkerton and myself, that we needed somewhere here in the valley that was a central gathering place, and that's what became the Educational Conference Center. With the help of Dr. Wagner and his persistence, because not everybody was real happy about this, that became a reality. So, he was with us from July 1 of 2014 through the end of December 2018, and then Dr. Walden came in. Dr. Walden's done such a great job in the 6 years that we just gave him a 4-year contract. So where has that brought us? And we talked about this before. And Terry, you're a huge sports fan, and I was raised with the Dodgers, the Rams. And I was raised with John Wooden and the UCLA Bruins. So you know that when you're riding a great horse, you want to ride it for as long as you can, and that's what we're doing. So, Dr. Walden has just a great team of deans. I mean, just absolutely. But the two that I deal with the most, Todd Scott took care of our accreditation. So we now have that done. We are fully accredited for another 7 years. Wow. And I'll talk a little bit about that in some of my notes. And then Dr. Tarango, the programs that they oversee and the number of certificates that you can get, it's almost like 200 that we're now offering at the college. So let me give you a couple stats that just recently come on out. We are the fastest growing community college in the state, and we are probably the fastest growing community college in the nation, in the United States of America. And when you go back 13 years when I got there, we were ready to lose our accreditation. Yeah. So what did it take? It took the leadership, it took the riding of the ship by Dr. Wagner to come on in and to take care of, we had some issues, personnel issues. We had, one, we didn't feel good about ourselves. Two, we didn't do anything together. And I think that he was able to bring people together. I think Dr. Walden's been able to bring people together. I mean, Dr. Walden can sit down with somebody from one of the constituency groups. They might have an issue, but they're going to shake hands, give each other a hug when they walk away. That's why we are where we are. Our student count right now. Okay, now this is students that come and take one class. So it takes 15 units to equal what we call a full-time equivalent student. Right. So we get paid based on our FTESs. John Pinkerton years ago, I don't think we have ever had anybody talk more about the importance of our attendance and bringing people in, and the amount of people that he brought in from high schools. So we were at 9,500, 9,800, slipped down a little bit, and then COVID came, and we really thought we were going to slip backwards. And we did a tad, but with an aggressive marketing program, 30,000 phone calls made, Dr. Walton using the COVID money as the way they should, we are now at 24,874 students that are in there right now this semester, coming through that door. 24,000. That equivalent, that works out to 12,400 FTESs. So when I said Pinkerton, I mean, it was every single time the word FTES came up at a board meeting, we turned in John. So now that, we haven't stayed in the last board meeting, but any time that FTESs came about, we always looked to John to say, you are the guy that really pushed us. So we've gone from 9,500 to 12,004. So we're no longer a small college. We're now a medium-sized college, so let's talk about hiring. So when you have all these new students, what happens? We've had 20 full-time faculty. I mean, these are great people that are moving here that we pay well, that hopefully will be here for a real long period. 112 part-time faculty. We have over 500 part-time faculty total. Okay, we have 134 faculty. Okay, as of yesterday. 9 new managers, 28 new classified employees. So the one thing that we are doing is we're spending our money right, and if we want to continue to grow, we got to hire the right people. And hiring right now across the country is a major issue. So let's talk a little bit about our demographics, because you hear about DEI, you hear about all these mandates across the country, but let me tell you what VBC is actually doing, and it's working. And this is all based on new hires from July 23 through June of 24. Our management, 67% are female, 33% are male. Our classified employees, 82% are female, 18% are male. Our part-time faculty, 50% female, 50% male. Full-time faculty, 61% female, 39% male. Let's talk about ethnicity. It's a big topic. My dad used to say you can talk about it, but your walk needs to be in step with what your mouth says. So our ethnicity demographics for new hires, 72% of our new hires are colored. 67% of the management are colored. 54% of our part-time faculty are colored. 30% of our full-time faculty are colored. So people of color include Black or African American, not Hispanic or Latino, Hispanic or Latino. We have Asian, Native American, Native Hawaiian. So, we're really trying to have a very, very diverse makeup, because we have a diverse demographic within our area. 50% of the high desert market is Hispanic, so we kind of want to match that. College stats we just did our graduation in June. Right. Okay. It was fun for me as president to stand and talk in front of 11,000 people. It's kind of daunting, but once you get the microphone and you get in rhythm, we had 11,000 people show up. 11,000. And that almost eclipses the amount of people that they get for a concert down there. We had 900 in-person graduating students, people that actually walked this year. So it was really the longest graduation that I can remember. We had our first Black graduation recognition ceremony this year. We had 33 graduates participate in the ceremony. Between family, friends, staff, community leaders, 100 attendees were present for that ceremony. And that's really important to us. It's not only important to us, it's not a let's check off the box. It's important for our students, for our faculty, for the board trustees, and for our management. Talk about accreditation. We got it. Todd Scott, I want to thank you. The board wants to thank you, the staff wants to, but it's not just Todd Scott. Todd knows how to go create a team, and that's what I think has really happened here. Dr. Walton hires the right team. He gets a big blessing from the board trustees. By the time he brings us somebody, it's kind of a done deal. Some of the notable remarks that came from the ACCJC about their accreditation. So I remember back when I got to the college, and Barbara Bino was leading the charge for accreditation, and a lot of the schools, San Francisco had a big problem. We had a huge issue. Terry, we were this close to losing our accreditation. People had no idea, and we had some employees at that point that really didn't care. That you don't see that today. Okay, I had one employee say that they didn't care if the ship went down because they figured somebody would take it over. But now, so they've changed the standards for accreditation, so where they're really more practical. And Dr. Walton has been on a couple of these tours before. So the visiting team praised Victor Valley College for its engagement and service to the community, both internally and externally, with outreach, one-stop, and a caring campus. The pride of ownership at VVC was reflected by the campus community during the virtual forum, consistently referenced throughout their report and also their site visit. The college has a strong understanding of its demographics and the need for the community that it serves. So that is very important, not only from our board standpoint and our policies, but for our students, our faculty. Lastly, the team acknowledged UVC's achievements directly related to the responsiveness to the community, expanding and growing its non-credit programs. And then lastly, so we had a financial impact study done, and maybe this next month I'll kind of go through those numbers, because they are absolutely staggering on the amount of money that college represents and what it does to our region. Nationally, okay, so you take our college and the amount of jobs that it directly creates, indirectly and directly, it's like 7,000 jobs. We have an economic impact for society. They call it for society, about $563 million. And this next month we'll do a gig. But Victor Valley Community College total annual impact and investment analysis. This is for students. So anybody that has a son or daughter, a cousin, brother or sister that is thinking about not going to school, the average associate degree graduate from Victor Valley Community College will see an increase in earnings of $8,300 each year compared to someone with a high school diploma working in California. And for every dollar spent, students gain $19.50 in lifetime earnings, taxpayers gain $1.50 in added tax revenue and public sector savings, and society gains $10.80 in added income and social savings. So Terry, at the end of the day, I've decided, as long as my health is good, that we're going to continue to work with Daniel Walden and his great team. We have people up for election right now. I'm up for election in 2024. And for those that are interested in my seat, you better start working, because I'm going to be running again. I like what I'm doing. I like the fact that our board of trustees is working as a great team. We lost a great trustee, a personal friend, somebody who I just love to death, and Sharon Pinkerton. I think that they're still going to kind of be involved. I mean, they have done more as a couple than just about anybody I can ever remember. But yeah, the college is in a great place, and I think that the better that we do, and the more students that we can educate, certificate, that can stay here, the better off we're going to be, because IDES is going to grow. The Mojave River Valley is going to grow substantially in the next 20 years, and hopefully most of that growth will come from some of the jobs that we're putting out of the college. So
Well stated.
we're off and we're rocking, man. I'll tell you. Yeah. And you know what Dr. Walden says? Give him a microphone, he'll talk for days about this, because he's good at it.
All right.
If you have not yet seen the new Rams Stadium on the VVC campus, we encourage you to attend the next Rams home game Saturday, October 26th. Kickoff is at 5 o'clock. We hope to see you there. Thank you for being with us on this Joseph W. Brady Report on Victor Valley College.
Kip Shelton's Guns of the West triggers a positive viewer reaction from those intrigued by the weapons of choice of the American West's colorful and glorious taming, and the stories and adventures of those who fired them. From the first fast-draw duel, Wild Bill Hickok, to the notorious James Gang, to a firearm used by a short-changed lady of the night. A cast call draws eager participants whose every semblance of the American pioneers of the mid-19th century must be historically accurate. Not just the weapons, but attire, jewelry, and accessories, and mannerisms. To this site, Southern California's pioneer town in the Mojave Desert, the likes of Gold Dollar, Dynamite Dave, Miss Ruby, Tombstone Tommy, and James Butler Hickok himself, better known as Wild Bill. Reenactors who've become walking encyclopedias of the very person or persons they portray. Upon the capable shoulders of director Tino Luciana falls the responsibility of managing the throng of characters, most with a reputation earned through disregard for rules and authority, when in character. This day's scenes include the Springfield, Missouri showdown on Main Street between the 28-year-old Hickok and former Confederate adversary Davis Tutt Jr., fueled by Tutt's flaunting display of the watch he'd taken from Hickok in a poker game the night prior. Historians pronounce this the first quick-draw duel in history, July 21st, 1865. Meticulous attention to detail lends to the realism. The viewer senses, then feels the tension that explodes into the instantaneous, ultimate throwdown.
Ted! I told you not to be wearing that watch across square.
Sparse narration is required to understand the circumstantial verdict rendered by a lady of ill repute when her client attempts to sneak out without properly paying for services rendered. Pioneer Town attracts a continual clientele of spontaneous tourists, treated this day to an inordinately high number of costumed characters out of the Old West. Members of the Pioneer Town Posse Reenactment Group not only offered a dozen cast members, but provided unparalleled hospitality for executive producer Dan Flood's production staff, crew, and the cast of characters. When authentic weapons of the day are used, the occasional hiccup must be expected and tolerated.
And action. And action. All right, got
But the finished product is flawless, a page of History Americana, opened, demonstrated, explained, and turned. Kip Shelton's Guns of the West.
The Victor Valley Community Services Council is offering free homemaker services, transportation, and activities for seniors ages 60 and older with mobility challenges. Residents can join the group in its monthly shopping trips where they pick you up, take you home, and assist with lifting and carrying items. For more information or to reserve your seat on the bus, call 760-243-9646. The Victor Valley Community Services Council is offering free mobility devices. Do you know a senior in need of a mobility device? The Victor Valley Community Services Council provides free wheelchairs, walkers, bedside commodes, canes, and more to those who qualify. The agency recently received a generous donation of wheelchairs from High Desert Second Chance. For more information, please call 760-243-9646. A new website has been launched for First District news, events, and resources. The homepage is said to have everything a viewer needs at a glance, including a First District calendar, board meeting calendar and agendas, and contact information. The resources page shows tabs for helpful services, district activities, local chambers of commerce, and economic development links. The website is Americans with Disabilities Act compliant. One of the county's latest campaigns is Opportunity Lives, Works, and Plays Here. This partnership between the Economic and Workforce Development Departments aims to assist businesses and nonprofits with hiring, relocating, and/or expansion free of charge. They also have an on-the-job training program that reimburses businesses with 50% of a new hire's hourly wage and training expenses for up to 3 months. San Bernardino County birth and death certificates are now available online. San Bernardino County's Vital Statistics Registration Office has launched a new service that allows residents to purchase certified copies of birth and death certificates online. Currently, the service is available for births and deaths that occurred in the past 2 years. Records for events older than 2 years can be obtained at San Bernardino County Hall of Records. The Bureau of Land Management has awarded 2 grants totaling almost $5 million to accelerate the training and placement of excess wild horses and burros into private care. These grants are part of the BLM's efforts to encourage more adopters to give a wild horse or burro a good home. The Adoption Incentive Program provides up to $1,000 to adopt an untrained wild horse or burro from the BLM. The goal of the program is to reduce BLM's recurring costs to care for unadopted and untrained wild horses and burros, while helping to enable the BLM to confront a growing overpopulation of wild horses and burros on fragile public rangelands. Thanks to its Adoption Incentive Program and the online corral, the BLM has doubled the rate of private care placement over the last 5 years. Nowadays, most people know general guidelines when it comes to service dog etiquette. Refraining from petting a service dog while they are working is an important rule, along with knowing that legitimate service dogs are allowed to accompany their owners nearly everywhere. However, one topic that's rarely discussed is the very real possibility that one of these animals may approach you without their owner. Knowing what this means and how to respond appropriately may mean the difference between life and death for a service dog handler. Service dogs are specifically trained to assist people with disabilities, including visual impairments, hearing impairments, mobility impairments, and mental disorders such as post-traumatic stress disorder. Besides assisting the owners with daily activities or alerting them to an impending medical crisis, a service dog fulfills another vital role: to seek assistance from an adult if their handler experiences a fall or medical emergency. Know the signs. A service dog that's seeking assistance from a stranger may use their nose to nudge your arm, leg, or hand. As tempting as it may be to give a quick scratch behind the ears and be on your way, stop and think. Cue the dog to help you locate their owner by asking what or where, or simply begin following the dog. If you ever see a service dog wandering without their owner, stop what you're doing and follow them. Situations that may cause a service dog to abandon their handler in search of help include a fall, like out of a wheelchair or otherwise, a seizure, a diabetic episode, an injury, or other medical emergency. Your help is being sought to clear our San Bernardino County shelters by adopting, not shopping. If you are looking for a new four-legged friend, the First District is home to several animal shelters with dogs and cats in need of loving homes. Local shelters include the Hesperia Animal Shelter on Santa Fe Avenue and the Apple Valley Animal Shelter on Powhatan Road. For more information, please call 760-240-7555. Terry Kurtz here, throwing out an invitation for you to catch up with High Desert Sports activities. Your High Desert Sports Report, showing 3 times every day on Victor Valley TV. 7 and 11 every morning, 4 every afternoon. Your half-hour High Desert Sports Report, the area's only video action highlights coverage of high school athletes, teams, and sports programs, Victor Valley College Rams, and Barstow College Vikings athletic events, including flashbacks to this date in High Desert sports and entertainment history. We hope you'll join us right here on Victor Valley TV. That's a wrap on this edition of Terry Kurtz Online. On behalf of Victor Valley Television Productions, thank you for watching. We hope to see you again next time around.